This is a brand new format for me. I'm going to try to do what I've seen other people do, which is reaction videos. So I'm going to watch some videos of people messing with snakes and see how it turns out for them, because, you know, I deal with snakes pretty regularly, and see if I can't tell you where they're screwing up. We got a gent here on a creek bank, and he has spotted a snake. The video is not that great. Looking at the color of the snake, just from the color, looks like it's going to be a copperhead, and it is in fact a copperhead. You can tell by the Hershey's Kisses on the side of this snake. And this idiot is trying to hand grab this snake.
He's all yours now.
Snake's just trying to get away from him, not trying to bite him, not trying to do anything.
Get him!
Until he grabs this snake. He's still trying to get away from the guy. So all he wants to do is be left alone. All he wants to be do is left alone. Most of the times alcohol is involved in this stuff. Checking out his shoe, doesn't even bite his shoe, just checking it out.
Every time I grab, they bite me.
Oh yeah, he'll bite you. If you don't pin that head,
Bite you right in the...
if you don't pin it,
ow!
Ow.
Yeah, how's that going for you?
Absolutely. How's that going for you?
I think I got that good too. That was awesome.
Yeah, you got that snake bite great. Good job. How do I find the pause on this? Yeah, you got that great. You got that snake bite great. And most of the times when you see people trying to handle snakes or trying to kill snakes, that's when most of your envenomations occur. Usually alcohol's involved with this. I don't know if alcohol was. I hope it wasn't, because you could clearly see they had ATVs in the background that they were riding. Anytime I deal with a venomous snake, I use the proper tools for the job. I use snake tongs and snake hooks. I don't put myself in this kind of position. So, yeah, that was our first idiot on display. This is a cottonmouth. That is a Keystrodon piscivorus. Not so much mean as protecting themselves.
Take me to the hospital.
In this video, we'll be looking at some of the
That
most
was a
terrifying
bull snake.
encounters involving snakes ever caught. The bull snake, which was about 5 feet long, lunged at Gerald, striking him in the eye.
Non-venomous, by the way.
The bull snake had only missed his eye by a small margin.
Which saved that eye.
Around the eyelid.
Number 19, sewer fishing.
All right, so the bull snake in the door. One of the more common snakes that will do this to you is the gray rat snake. Down in my area where I'm at in South Mississippi, you'll get the gray rat snake that'll do the same thing. They'll get up in that screen door and they're just trying to figure out a way to get into the house when it starts getting cool, or when they smell mice in the house. If you aren't looking at the door when you go up there, I've seen where guys get struck because they had the Christmas wreath on the door and the snake blends in and gets wrapped around it. And sure enough, the guy gets tagged when he goes out the door. All right, let's go. That looks like a python. I don't know if it's reticulating or Burmese. Let's see.
Gone wrong. In June of 2019, a couple of friends and content creators were out on a sewer fishing trip in Miami when they appeared to catch something way different from what they had expected. The friends began by identifying the sewer they wanted to fish in and were all set to begin hunting for their game.
Oh, dude, I love the sewer fishing in Miami videos. They catch peacock bass in there. They catch all kind of stuff in there. Just FYI, if you're a fisherman like I am, the only place in the continental United States where you can catch peacock bass are in the canals of Miami. And I used to take trips down there 3 times a year to go film and to write articles about fishing for butterfly peacock bass in the Miami canals. Awesome fishery down there. You never know what you're going to catch, but the reason you don't know what you're going to catch is because of people releasing their aquarium fish, aka invasive species, to the habitat. So the peacocks were actually introduced in 1984 by one of the biologist friends of mine that's a retired biologist over there in Florida now. They introduced 25,000 butterfly peacock bass in the canals in 1984. Their thought was the largemouth bass were mostly preying during the night, and the butterfly peacock bass would prey during the day and would knock out the invasive species of the African cichlid, the Mayan cichlid, the jaguar wapodis, all of these things that ended up in those canals. So it was a pretty cool project, and now you can go have a peacock bass fishery in Miami. It's now you can actually harvest 2 fish a day if you're a licensed angler down there. It's pretty cool.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and throw some food in here. Check it out. Get over here. Get over here. So I'm just gonna jump.
At least the guys didn't end up doing something foolhardy like opening the sewer to see the snake. Instead, they called their friend Jacob, who seemed to be a professional snake catcher.
Jacob is here. Jacob, you won't believe it. Look what's inside this sewer.
8 to 10 foot.
Zach, don't even tell him yet. Don't even tell him.
8 to 10 foot.
Jacob eventually sat down to go take a look at the snake, and even I can feel my heart thumping as he goes further down the sewer.
Watch out, bro. This thing is huge.
See the snake hook?
You just move right there because I'm in here.
Oh
And
my
there's only,
gosh.
there's
I
only
can't
one
see
way
him at
out.
all.
I don't want to watch.
Can you see him?
No.
I can't see him at all.
I can see his head in there. Oh my gosh.
Slowly and steadily, he pulls the snake out and then reveals it, a massive 15-foot long serpent.
It's gotta be, that's reticulating, I think.
Let him run out.
While the guys were filming, Jacob eventually brought the snake out, revealing its massive body. Number 18, Granny gets a snake visit. Now, I really hope that you're not scared of snakes because this one is quite the doozy. The next video was taken in Thailand, showing a moment when a snake attacked an elderly woman while she was sleeping. Also taken in 2019, the video...
Okay. One, I have no clue about snakes from Thailand. I have a clue about snakes from the southeastern United States. But 2, a snake attacking a woman. No, that snake was just moving around the room. He wasn't trying to attack her. Snakes don't chase down people.
Video clearly shows the grandmother sleeping calmly in her bed while a slithering reptile suddenly comes in looking for a bite. Fortunately, she was able to sense that something was moving around her, and she woke up just in time to spot the dastardly intruder. After having...
And when the dastardly intruder saw that she put a flashlight on him, did he jump up there and attack her? No. He tried to get away from her.
spotted the snake, she was able to get to safety and call someone to help get it out of her house. Yes, I think that this serves as a lesson to everyone. When you go to sleep, just make sure that your doors are locked. Twice even. Number 17. Venomous snake attacks little girl. When it comes to snakes, I don't think that any country can really talk about experiences in the way that Australia can. There are all manner of snakes within that country, and in this case, one of them got a little too close to a little girl. The video, which would be taken in 2020, shows the moment that an eastern brown snake decided to scare a little girl. And her family
that's
in
not good.
Queensland. As it shows, the girl, as well as her mother and sister, had come out to do
Oh
some
my God,
laundry
please don't let
when
me
all of a
see.
sudden, while the mother was trying to lock the door, out jumped the snake. Amidst all the hullabaloo, the mother was finally able to get the girls to safety,
oh, thank God.
although it was definitely not a smooth operation. Interestingly, it was only after the entire fiasco had seemingly been solved that the girl's father finally came out.
Oh,
He even went the wrong way. Talk about coming in at the very last moment. Number 16.
all right. Good job, Mom, getting the kid away from that snake. The eastern brown, you know, while I'm not familiar with Australian snakes, I do know that the eastern brown, from watching Steve Irwin, is one of the most venomous snakes in Australia. So I'm glad that turned out with no envenomation.
Tests a snake and finds out. Like every other animal, snakes hate it when you test them or generally annoy them. However, the next guy appeared to have missed that in his snake handler training because he went on to taunt the snake, and boy did he regret it. The video shows a guy having way too much fun and being well too comfortable with a snake and a python, no less.
Okay, so one, you see this guy is blowing into that snake's mouth. You see it's making that snake mad. Why would you put that head anywhere near yours?
He kept on playing with the python and even put it close to his face. I'm guessing that he was just trying to make some content and show what an awesome guy that he was, but
A
the snake
dumbass
was not
guy.
having any of it. As soon as it got close enough, it then bit him right in the head.
Absolutely, that's
python. Fortunately, the snake was not
That's
venomous,
what's
so
supposed
it
to
did not
happen.
transmit any necessarily dangerous materials.
Snakes do not
but
like
still,
hair, by
it
the
must
way.
have hurt. Number 15. Snake interrupts a drinking session. You know that feeling when you're with your guys and chilling over a round of drinks and food, only to be interrupted by an unlikely visitor? Well, what would you do if that visitor turned out to be a dangerous snake? Years back, CCTV footage would capture the incredible moment when a group of drinking buddies suddenly found their session cut short after a striped snake then decided to get in on some of the fun as well.
I don't know where this is.
Fortunately for the men, one of them decided to get up and stretch his legs, only to turn and see the sneaky predator almost at his feet. It was an incredible stroke of luck for the guys, as they were able to evade the snake quickly.
Yeah, had they still been sitting there, that snake would have probably gone through the chair and slithered through legs, and nobody would have noticed. It was not coming to attack them.
Plus, even the reptile itself appeared to have been startled, and in time, they were able to chase it away. Number 14. Robert Irwin gets bitten in the face. If you're like most
Steve's
people,
boy.
You probably first got a little taste of the animal
That's
kingdom
Bendy.
while watching Steve Irwin as a child. The
Isn't it?
famous Australian
Yeah, that's
zookeeper and
Bendy.
conservationist spent the bulk of his life teaching about wild animals and helping to preserve them. And until his death in 2006, his work on wildlife education had inspired an entire generation.
Killed by a
Robert,
punk-ass
Steve's
stingray.
first child, decided to follow in his father's footsteps.
Thank you, Cat
and
Williams.
also become a zookeeper. And if there's one thing that you definitely need to be ready for, it's animals getting a little nasty sometimes.
Red-eared slider.
In this clip from
I mean,
2021, Robert is seen playing with a particularly long python when it suddenly snaps and took a snip out of his face.
There's a good snake. When I first found this guy, there is no way I...
Robert would explain in the video that the python must have had no choice other than to bite him as a defense tactic, since it didn't have any venom. Check out the extent of the damage that was done.
Oh, and look, let me tell you something that I can tell you from experiences. Snakes know where your vulnerable parts are, and when you go to handle them, they want to get up in your face, especially if they're non-venomous. But even if they're venomous, they're going to fire for you because they know if they strike at your face, you're going to get back. I've seen too many face strikes from non-venomous snakes to know they're doing that just to get you away from them. However, if you wouldn't be sitting there handling them, they wouldn't have the chance to strike at your face. Now, would they?
By the bite.
Right, so I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. I got a little bit too close.
Despite having no fangs or venom, I'm pretty sure that bite must have stung equally as bad. Number 13. Giant...
Okay, before we get to number 13, let me explain something to y'all. Yeah, I know you see this poster back over my shoulder. This is my son's room. This is Ryan's room. The producer, editor, and all of that. And he's the one... This is the editing suite that we use. And with the good microphone here and the good 4K camera here, most all the rest of my content is done with our phones. So, yeah, I'm sitting in our studio slash Ryan's bedroom.
Python gets too close to animal keeper. If there's one job that I absolutely do not envy, it's the guys at snake shelters that are responsible for keeping the snakes happy and satiated. I understand that snakes can be managed, but they're snakes. You could be joking with one, and it could suddenly snap and attack you, just like this guy.
Okay, let me explain something to you. You cannot joke with snakes, okay? You don't joke with snakes, you handle snakes.
Now sure, the snake didn't have any venom, so the bite was not necessarily dangerous, but I sure would not want to be in this situation myself. Things got even more worse when the guy went back to pick the python up, only for it to begin wrapping around him gradually, as if it were preparing him for a meal.
That's exactly what it was preparing him to do. Pythons are large enough snakes to try to size up and eat what they can. I don't think this python could have actually digested this snake, but he certainly could do the damage, and then he would probably end up discarding him because he wouldn't be able to swallow him.
While the guy was able to get the snake back into position, I think the message here was pretty clear. The snake just wanted to be left alone.
Pretty much.
12. Python bites Chinese tourist mid-kiss. First off, I don't think there's any reason in the world whatsoever for me to ever try to kiss a python. No
Nope.
matter how seemingly friendly they may be, it's important to remember that they are still snakes, and there's just no trusting them. Don't take it from me, though. Check out this next person. While on a zoo tour in Phuket, Thailand back in 2016, a 29-year-old tourist suddenly developed an urge to kiss a reticulated python.
What an
Why in
idiot.
the world that they would do that, I honestly don't know.
Nor do
It
I.
appeared that the python was not ready for any smooches
Oh.
that day, especially from a stranger that it didn't recognize.
All right, let me explain something to you about python and anacondas and boas. Their teeth, they go, oh, well, they're constrictors. They don't have fangs. No, but the teeth that they have are hooked like this. So when they do catch hold of something, they are hooking into it. So you can't just pull them straight back without tearing all kind of stuff off. It's ugly, ugly teeth. It's nothing like if I get tagged by a black racer, or if I get tagged by a gray rat snake or a corn snake. It's completely different.
It's either that, or perhaps the snake was also just eager for some action and wanted to get a smooch back, just not in the way that the person had hoped for. The snake's handlers were able to get it off of their face in time, although they did suffer some pretty nasty injuries as a result. Reports would confirm that there were about $3,700 in compensation dished out, so hopefully it covered some of the costs of the medical bills.
Not to cover the amount of plastic surgery that she's probably going to have the tears on that face.
Number 11. Boa constrictor won't let go of Dutch woman's hand. You know how you go on these daredevil shows and they make you do some weird stuff in the name of facing your fears? Well, I think I might have to count myself out of those, because in this next video, I'm going to take you all the way to the Netherlands, where a program called Real Girls in the Jungle tried to force women to essentially take some risks, all in the name of content. According to reports, this specific contestant was tasked with opening a box that contained a dangerous animal. As soon as she did, she was stunned to find that it was a live boa constrictor.
Okay.
You would think that the lady would be more than happy to sit that one out, but no, she went on with the animal, and boy did she pay for that mistake. The boa constrictor did all it could to hold on to the lady's arm, and even with about 3 handlers there, it must have been a Herculean task. Maybe that would teach her not to mess with a sleeping python in the future.
I can't stand how most of these content creators have no understanding of the animals that they're dealing with. But they still know, hey, let's get somebody that has no idea how to handle a snake to open a box with a snake and try to get the thing out. It's cheap TV. It's reality TV that needs to go away. It's just idiotic.
Number 10. The venom extraction fail. There are only a few snakes that are so deadly and fierce as the rattlesnake. They literally shake their rattles in a bid to warn any potential prey, but even with the heads up, a rattlesnake that's committed enough will always get you. Even experts who are experienced in snake handling can be snipped once in a while by a rattlesnake if it gets a strong enough whiff. Just take this video as reference. In 2010, a herpetologist known as George Van Horn would be bitten by an eastern rattlesnake, all while trying to take some of its venom at the Reptile World Serpentarium in St. Cloud, Florida. George was a well-experienced snake handler, but he appeared to have gotten a little bit too close for comfort as this little guy got a snip of his hand while the venom extraction was taking place.
This is cringeworthy to me because this is the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, not the eastern rattlesnake. This is an eastern diamondback rattlesnake, or Crotalus adamantius, and we've had these in our lab. Anytime you are hand dealing with these things, you need to know that their fangs and the way they can move that neck, he got tagged in the hand right there trying to get this snake to this extraction tube. Thank God he recognized it. And I got bit.
Fortunately, though, the Serpentarium had enough antivenom facilities, and George was treated quickly. But maybe the snake just needed a little bit of a snack while giving its venom away.
No, the snake did not need a snack. I hate this commentary on this video. This guy is so America's Got Talent or something. I don't know. He's not a scientist. He's just somebody reading.
Number 9. Anaconda attacks capybara in the wild. When you're in the wild, pretty much anything goes. And when it comes to the anaconda, having freedom of movement in the wild is just a given. In this clip, taken in December of 2009, an anaconda measuring about 6 meters in length is seen strutting around its domain when it spots the perfect prey, that being a capybara.
Okay, I want to ask you this. How does a snake strut? He's strutting about his area. He has no legs. He ain't strutting. He's slithering. Y'all know this is going to be a long video. It's longer than most of my videos.
Known as the world's largest rodent, the capybara can grow up to 4 feet long and measure up to 100 pounds in weight, so you can imagine the glee on this anaconda's face when it came upon this family of capybaras. It's well known that anacondas don't have any venom, so they cannot poison their prey, but instead they'll latch onto them and literally squeeze them to death. Considering the size difference between the two animals, it's safe to say that the little capybara had no hope as soon as it got caught. Now there's a hearty meal if there ever was one. Number 8. Snake breaks into an
Thus, the circle of life.
internet cafe. There's hardly anything like being absolutely surprised by a snake when you least expect it. For this guy, I'm pretty sure it was an experience of a lifetime. The clip, which would be taken in 2017 and shot in Thailand, shows CCTV footage of an internet cafe being run during a regular busy day. One of the customers appears to be on his way out of the cafe after a session, but he appeared not to notice that there was actually a snake close to the door. The moment that he finally got wind of his slithering companion, he then flew into a hysterical fit. According to reports, the particular serpent was a rat snake, so it was not venomous, but try telling that to a scared cafe customer. Maybe the little guy just wanted to come in and use the
Holy
facilities.
hell.
Whatever it was, he sure caused enough trouble for one day. Number
Hey, I gotta tell you, look, I look for snakes in a lot of places, but me sitting here at this computer right now, if a snake came up and grabbed me, I'd be pretty much shocked and awed. This is not where I'd be looking. This is not their normal habitat.
7. Mother python attacks a zookeeper. Mothers will do just about anything to protect their children. While snakes are usually predators that go after other animals' children, you should actually see how fierce they can be when it comes to protecting their own.
Their
This
eggs.
clip, which was taken in 2021, shows noted animal handler Jay Brewer getting into quite a sticky situation after he had attempted to take a python's eggs. Even while Jay had tried to maneuver his way around the python, you could see that she was not having any of it. This lady knew that her eggs were in danger, and she immediately jumped into fight mode. As soon as Jay appeared to hold the clutch of eggs and let his guard down for one moment, the mother python absolutely pounced.
Looks like.
The good part is with this small clutch, I can levitate. Oh man. Oh, I got it right in the face.
Fortunately, Jay's reflexes were quick to act, and he avoided what could have very well been quite the unfortunate situation. Number 6, giant python found underground. Snakes are the master of disguise. They're well adept at hiding in almost plain sight, whether it's to rest or stalk potential prey. And in our next video, we see a group of snake hunters in Vietnam who have discovered a massive python that appears to have hidden itself underground. According to reports, the hunters had been surveying the land to see if there were any reptilian inhabitants.
What are they using a metal detector for? That's just freaking odd. I want a snake detector. If there's a snake detector out there so I can put it on the ground so I can find a black pine snake, by God, I want a snake detector. What the hell is this for?
And when they came upon the snake's location, they then began digging. So, what did they find under all of that rubble? Well, probably the largest snake that you've ever seen. It looked more like the snake had just finished a huge meal and was looking to hibernate for a while. The poor guy just wanted a nap. Number 5, rabbit fends off snake from her baby.
Okay, snakes don't hibernate, they brumate. Hibernation is for mammals, brumation is for reptiles and amphibians. FYI.
Rabbits might be cute and all, but you sure don't want to get them mad. Regardless of what animal you are, you'll absolutely get what's coming for you. In our next clip, which was taken back in 2015, a black rat snake could be seen already wrapping itself around a baby rabbit. With its prey firmly within its grasp, the snake decided to take its time. But what it didn't account for was the fact that the rabbit's mother was close by. And as soon as the mother bunny saw her baby was in danger, the fight was on. Once she was able to ascertain that her baby was okay, she turned her attention to the slithering serpent and made it pay the price. Despite the snake's best efforts to flee the scene, the rabbit would not let go. That'll teach him to never mess with the wrong mother again. Number 4, pet snake attacks woman. Personally, I'm not really sure.
I think I've seen this one before.
As a pet, no matter how seemingly domesticated they might be, you have to remember that they're still snakes, and anything could literally happen. Just take this woman for example.
Oh, this.
In a truly gnarly video that was shot.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
The lady is seen trying to tend to her pet snake when it suddenly comes out of its cubicle and absolutely rushes her.
Oh, okay. Well, need a hand?
No, I'm gonna have Chris help, hopefully.
Yeah, I need a hand.
Perfect representation of just how dangerous and swift that a python attack can be. Despite even getting help from someone else, the woman had a truly hard time getting the snake off of her body.
No, crap. Even worse, the lady then began to lose a lot of blood as the snake just wouldn't let go.
Keep going. Oh! All right. So,
Fucking egg.
let's get.
Let me stop filming and help you.
Yeah, no shit. Stop filming. Help me. Help me get this damn snake off of me. All right, so pythons, like I said earlier, have those teeth that are hook shaped. So when that python grabbed hold on that hand, if you look at the dorsum of your hand, you have all these veins. That's why they try to start IVs there for you when you're in the hospital. That snake, a snake of that size, could certainly get down deep enough to get into one of those veins. That's why she was losing all that damn blood.
Yeah, please.
It looks like the grumpy snake must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed. Number 3. Brave dog fights off king cobra. If you see a king cobra suddenly slithering in your garden, one of the first things that you do would probably be to pack up and get the heck out of there.
Ricky
However,
Tikki
for this
Taba.
dog, cowardice was not on the menu. Despite meeting a 12-foot-long king cobra, the dog held his own, although it would be a tense encounter to say the least. Fortunately for this canine crusader, one of his buddies came over to help him out. Now,
What kind
if
of
you know
fruit was
anything
that?
about snakes, you'll know that a numbers advantage might not necessarily amount to much, especially when it comes to a cobra, but these brave little doggos were able to eventually fend off the intruding serpent. I'm sure there's a lesson about teamwork somewhere in this video. Number 2. Diamondback rattlesnake in a pond. A few years ago, a YouTuber couple by the name of Cole and Jay that posts adventure content decided to go on a little fishing trip. They vlogged the entire experience, catching different fishes on their journey, but unknown to them, they had apparently gone a bit into snake-infested waters, and while Cole was still looking for some game, she suddenly saw something slithering under the river's surface. That's when she reached for it and was surprised to find a diamondback rattlesnake.
Okay, this is not a diamondback rattlesnake. This is a diamondback water snake. It is a Nerodia. It is not a Crotalus. It is not a diamondback rattlesnake. I hate when these videos get this shit wrong.
He's a giant! Oh my gosh!
While Cole and Jay were admiring their unlikely find, it appeared that the rattlesnake was not so pleased to have been pulled out of its habitat and made sure to communicate that.
Yes, because it's not a rattlesnake.
That is a giant.
This is, woo!
Giant diamondback.
Cole continued to show off the snake despite the initial bite, and our guy just kept on nibbling at her hand. After getting bitten a couple more times, the two eventually released the snake and tended to the wounds. The snake was fortunately non-venomous, so she only needed to get a few stitches on that arm.
Okay, so the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, or the diamondback rattlesnake, is venomous, but the eastern diamondback or the eastern rattlesnake that bit her 3 times was not venomous. These clickbait videos just piss me the hell off. They just piss me the hell off.
Number 1. The Snake Charmer Fail. Snake charmers are professional performers who wow audiences with their skills of pacifying and seemingly controlling snakes. For the better part of the best, it's almost like they have a telepathic connection.
This is the guy that just got tagged with the
most highly
eastern.
trained charmers can still be put at risk. In this clip, we see a 35-year-old snake charmer performing with a king cobra. While everything seems to be going just fine, they would soon turn south after the cobra had decided to get a bite of his arm.
Unfortunately for the handler, it was not his day. After a few turns, the snake lunged towards his arm and bit him.
According to reports, the snake charmer went unconscious only a few moments after the bite.
Well, yeah.
Immediately rushed to a nearby hospital where they were able to administer an antivenom and save his life.
Yeah, it's a
He
neurotoxic
did have to
snake.
spend 3 days on life support.
No
if I
doubt.
were him, my snake charming days would likely be automatically over.
Mine would
I can't
too.
go around risking my life for someone else's entertainment, now can I? I think it's safe to say that we should all be more wary of snakes. No one ever wants to become attacked, but being safe is definitely...
There was, I pointed out some idiocracies of this video. Thank you to everybody that stayed to this end of the video. That means a lot to me. If you like it and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And click those notifications so you can see when I throw more content up there. Appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care and have a great week. How you shut this shit off?